What does the person's field look like? So on the left is an energy image of the room. The room is clear, so you see green, that means life force energy. You see orange, vitality. You see blue. Now, when a person comes in, so this person is standing at the exact same spot where this image was taken, just 30 seconds later, and I want you to notice that the colors have changed. So the colors that are for this person, there is gold and yellow and pink. What I want to convey to you is this medium or this auric field, it just very beautifully blends into the environment. So there's no separation between the environment and our auric field. We've all experienced, you go near a person, you don't feel nice. We all know that there's something about them. That's because they're carrying all these memories in their field around them, and your field, which is overlapping with them, is kind of reading that, and you're feeling uncomfortable. Okay? So this is what a person's auric field looks like. So in this case, his auric field is a little bit shrunk. It's just around his head. So this is the room. So this is the orange from the room, and it expanded to this point. And his field is really gold, yellow, and pink. So his field is only till his head. That's pretty typical. For most people, it should be 6 feet out. It's so shrunk. If you look at a child, now the child's auric field is very expanded. It's close to 5 or 6 feet. Like in this case, this is the room. So from here, this was the room on the left. The orange expanded, and this is the child's field way above his head. And also notice that the colors in a child's field are like, gentle colors. You see yellow, and you see pink, and you see gold. That's why we are attracted to children, because those are the colors of, endearment and love and innocence. Plants, there's enough and more scientific evidence to show that plants, real living plants, can do amazing wonders. So they found that on the physical level, having plants in the environment lowers blood pressure. In hospitals, if a person is going through recovery, especially post-surgery or post-cancer, on average, if the room has got plants in it, the person will go back home from the hospital about 4 to 5 days sooner than other patients. So plants are doing something. They improve the air quality, they support your lungs, there's a sense of well-being there. On the mental level, they reduce stress. On the environmental level, they reduce noise, they balance the humidity, they absorb the toxins. All of that is good. But what I want to show you here is something really beautiful to do with plants. So the first thing I want to show you is when you take an auric image of the plant, it's very beautiful to see how it interacts with other plants and also with us. So I'm going to show you a video and a couple of other things too. And then I'm going to tell you where exactly to place the plant in the house to make a shift in the environment. So here on the left is an auric image of the room. So the room has got the regular colors you would typically find in a clean room without any dense energy. So you have green. There's some dense energy here. There's a little shade of dark green, but there's pink and orange. I've brought in a really tiny plant. So this tiny plant, when I placed it, notice the auric field of this plant is green and blue. So the energy of green is life force and the energy of blue is communication. Now I want you to understand. So if you were standing here next to this plant, the blue would go into your field, and on an energetic level, your communication abilities would increase. So that's interesting to note, because each plant has a different auric field and different color. And if the plant is in your environment, it is sending that into the room first to clean it up, and second into your auric field, because everything is one bioplasma field. Here's the second plant. Okay, so this plant's auric field is very small. So auric field for plants is like a cloud, and it moves around. So I've done experiments where a plant is there and I'm standing next to it and I just look at it and I admire the beauty. The cloud shifts and moves towards me and encompasses me. So plants, auric fields is not stuck around them, it kind of shifts. So I have these two plants, but when you place the two plants together, I just want you to notice that the combined auric field of the two plants shifts so many colors and it fills the whole room. So this is what the room was before. It was the green. Now that green is nowhere on site. This is the exact same spot where all these images are taken. So the interesting thing is this bigger size mature plant recognizes that this plant is a baby plant. Notice the colors that have come in. There's pink and yellow and gold. And if you see the auric field of an adult, they've got solid colors, and of a child has those pastel colors. So the plant is recognizing that, hey, this is a child, and that innocence energy comes in. So if you place two plants like this together, if you are in that room next to that plant, you get these qualities in you because you're continuously absorbing and interacting with anything living in your space. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you get a group of plants together. So two plants is fine. So plants are exactly like humans. So if you place them together. So most people I ask them, do you have plants at home? They're like, yeah, I have this succulent. I have plants in my house. I have a succulent on my computer table. That succulent is really small, and the auric field is going to be a few inches out. It's not going to be doing too much. It's not going to give you the benefits of plants that you really want. Versus in this case, there's what I did is I took 4 different plants. So the first is the image of a room, a regular energy. I brought in the first plant, the auric field shift some, and one by one, I brought in 4 plants. Now all these 4 plants were brought into that space in less than a minute. So the energy didn't shift much. But when I let the plants sit together for about 5 minutes, the plants became aware of each other and combined, their energy field expanded so much that it filled the whole room. So notice the blue, green, orange, gold, and yellow came in, which was not there before. So if you look at the image at the bottom, the room was over here. The room had a green in the middle. And when the plants came in, the green shifted out and all this new life force energy came into the space. So it's incredible. The first thing you want to take away from this is whenever you have plants in your house, place them together, because 1, it strengthens them. 2, it magnifies the energy exponentially and fills the room, because your main purpose is to shift the energy in the room. Because we are all watching TV, we're watching the news, there's so much fear, there's so much stress, you come back from work, all of that you're depositing in your bedroom, you're depositing in your living room, and it stays there. And tomorrow when you come back, it just gets deeper, it's not getting cleaned out. So when you have living plants and when you have a group of them, they have this ability on a regular basis to work like a filter and clean it out, and you want them as a group. Here, this is, I also wanted you to see a video. This is a video capturing how the energy is shifting in the room. So here, the video goes by really quickly. So I've just captured a few, important screenshots. I'll go through the screenshots first, then I'll play the video, and then I'll stop and talk about it again. So the very first thing is the room. And one by one, as I'm bringing the plants in, you see each time I bring a plant in, the auric energy shifts. And by the time, from the beginning to the end, the room is very different in terms of the energy. So it's kind of fun to see the video. I'm not going to play it right now. I'm just bringing the plants in one by one. So this plant's aura was this pink, orange, and green. I bring another one in, and as I'm coming in, notice the pink and the yellow is coming in the background. So the plant and my energetic body are interacting. So the plant is sending me the pink and the yellow and the gold. So each time I'm coming close to the plant, it's shifting my field around my heart. I brought the plants in together, and now the field is expanded. I mean, it was, if you can look, it was this purple to begin with. Now all of this is new, and notice that the vibrancy and the light level in the room has increased so much. Right? So I just wanted to see this image over here. So in the beginning, the room was like this. And when the plants came in, the green shifted out, and the plant's auric field that has come in is so huge. Again, this shift is happening because it's a group of plants, and there are medium-sized plants. If you get 2, 3 small, this many plants, it will not have this effect. So you need them to be about a medium size, maybe about this size, but you want them together, because when they are together, they create this transformative shift on multiple levels. The technology available now is so beautiful. You're able to see and sense these energies in different ways. So what I shared right now was the visual. And there are devices like this, okay? What this does is, this just takes the vibration of the plant and converts it into a sound in a level that we can hear. So this device is converting it into the audible range, but actually the plant is creating the music at the energetic level always. So I'm going to show you this video that I recorded of the plants in my room. And each note is an energetic impulse of the plant. So if the notes are high and quick, the plant is healthy and active and it is pulsing energy in the room. But if the plant has not been watered or it's not healthy, the tone goes down. So just watch this video for about 2 minutes. I hope you can hear the sound.
Okay, so far we have been looking at the auric or biofield images of plants. In this video, I'm going to share what plants sound like if we could convert their vibrations into music notes. Here I'm using a simple device and I'm connecting 2 probes to the leaves of the same plant. This measures the biological changes within the plants and translates them into electrical signals and then into sound. So if we were to listen to the vibrations of the plants, this is what it would sound like. Every note you hear is a real-time expression of a shift in the plant. The more active a plant is at a particular moment, the more notes you will hear. And the third plant, as you listen, the number of notes reduces. That's because this plant has not been watered for a few days. And you can immediately see that the music and the vibrations and the notes created by this plant are much slower and lower than the previous two plants.
Right. So as you can see, if you have plants in the environment, not only are they aurically shifting the field, but they are generating these vibrations on the subtle levels that your body is hearing this music. And you could see that if the plant is healthy and it's active, the notes are higher and faster and quicker. And if the plant has not been watered, like I showed you, the notes go down. Okay, now why is that important? Because I just mentioned the human body has got these 7 auric levels. So does a plant. By having a real plant in there, it is nourishing you and actually healing you on all of these 7 levels, okay, which an artificial plant cannot do. So having plants is continuously working with the whole human body, not just the physical level. It's really incredible to have a group of plants in a room. Now I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to talk a little bit about a room and a special kind of energy that is there in certain parts of the room, and how when you combine the plants and that energy, you can just shift the space. Okay, so when you take a room, inside a room, there are all of these levels of energy and they are moving in different places and different ways. But when you look at a corner of a room, there's a special kind of carrier energy. A carrier energy means, okay, let me give you an example. Like you have a radio wave. If you're listening to the radio, the radio can carry sound or voice or music. So basically the radio is a carrier wave and our voice is being carried on the radio wave and transmitted. In a room, every corner, whether a regular corner or a projected corner, has a special carrier energy called negative green. And anything that is placed there, the energy of that will piggyback on this carrier energy and it will fill the room. So what I'm asking you to do is take a group of plants and in any room, pick one corner and fill that one corner with the plants. So there you're combining the way the energy moves in a room with the properties of the plant, and you're actually broadcasting it into the whole room, because otherwise the plant's energy stays a few feet. But by placing it at a corner or maybe 2 corners, you will notice that it will actually go into the whole room. It will go further out. On the same note, take a look at what is in your room. Do you have security cameras? Do you have a smart device? Do you have a TV? Do you have a Wi-Fi router? Is that in the corner? If that is in the corner with its Wi-Fi or EMF radiations, you are actually magnifying that and transmitting it into the whole room. So this week, the main task that I want you to do is, if you have any plants in your house, first and foremost, go and collect them together and pick a room that you spend the most time in. Okay, maybe your living room or your family room or your dining room, wherever the family spends time together. Put a group of plants in one corner of that room. And second, look for these devices that you might have. Do you have clutter? Do you have, electronic devices? Remove them from the corner and move it to the side wall. Just go and check the corners. Do you have a trash can? Do you have lots of piled papers? Do you have, boxes kept in the corner? Corners tend to be the place where we just kind of store stuff sometimes, or do you have a bookshelf with all the junk on it in the corner? That is actually adding to the noise and the stuck energy in the room. So either keep the corners fully clean, or if something is there, make sure that its energy is positive and strong, that if it is broadcast, it will be goes like plants. You can have crystals there. If you're having crystals there, you're going to have to make sure that their crystals are kept clean, over the time. So I also want to point out, even if they are projected corners like this, like sometimes you have a turn in the hallway, these corners also can project energy. So if you place plants over there and soften the corners, so in Feng Shui and Vastu, they tell you to, the corners have these sharp energies. what they actually, in a way, trying to say is that is projecting whatever energy is there. The stuck energy is there, that's getting projected into the room. So if you put plants even in those corners, that will get softened. And here's another, just a fun aesthetic thing to remember. So when you're grouping plants, if you do it this way, so if you have plants with a lot of small leaves, those kind of plants are kind of called dots. If you have plants with long leaves like this one, they are called lines. And if plants have got big leaves and, and characters in their leaves, they are called faces. So when you're grouping plants together, if you group plants like dots, lines, and faces together, first, the display will be more interesting, because if you have too many plants with small leaves, it kind of creates noise. Or if you have too many plants of one kind, it creates not a very balanced effect. So if you can find plants that have got these like dots, lines, and faces and combine them together, the display will be a whole lot interesting. As an example, here is a picture. Over here, this is a really good way to utilize the energy of plants in the room. So you have first, they've covered it bottom to ceiling. The whole corner is covered. They have got faces in the monsteras here. This is also a palm. This has also got big faces. And then you have the ferns, which are like dots. And again, you have a hanging vine, which is like dots. And then you have lines. So this is a good combination of dots, lines, and faces. And if you just have one corner, this will change the experience of the people in that room really well. So look in your bedroom first. Is there like, a security camera or a smart device or a TV in the corner? Just move that out. Just simply move it out. At the corner be empty. If there's like boxes or clutter or trash can in the corner, move it out. And you want to kind of just make one corner in your home with a group of plants. I mean, I know most people have plants, but they've got one over here, one over here, one over there. Collect them together and place it in one corner. And don't just keep them on the floor. You can, place them on a wall shelf. You can hang them from the ceiling. Try to cover that whole corner from the floor to the ceiling. That will have the strongest and best effect.